Okay, let's jump right in. We're going to explore a really different way of thinking about housing today. And it all starts with this one simple idea. What if we stopped treating it like just another market and started treating it like, fundamental infrastructure? And right away, you hit this really strange question. I mean, think about it. We treat housing as this totally separate, special thing. It's not like other essential services. But why? Why do we do that? And what if that very distinction, what if that's the actual problem? So, to really get to the bottom of this, let's just make a simple comparison. We're going to put housing right next to things we all agree are infrastructure, right? Stuff like roads, water, power. And when you see them side by side, wow, the problem becomes crystal clear. Okay, but first things first. To make sure we're all on the same page here, let's just quickly define what we even mean by infrastructure. And that's it. It's really that simple. It's not about some complicated government department or a certain type of company. Infrastructure is just the basic stuff society needs to function, day in, day out. It's a simple idea, but it's super powerful, and it really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. And this definition tells you how we act when something is infrastructure. We don't just let it happen, right? We plan it out for the long haul. We coordinate it. We all kind of accept that, yeah, the government has a big role to play here. And even if private companies are involved in building it, the end game is always a reliable public service for everyone. And this quote just nails it. It shows exactly why housing fits this definition so perfectly. It's the foundation. It's just as crucial as the power grid. Think about it. If housing starts to get shaky, everything else does too. People can't take jobs, families can't settle down, businesses can't find employees. The whole economy is basically built on top of it. All right, now for the really fun part. Let's do a little thought experiment. Let's compare how we handle our roads to how we handle housing, because this is where the massive gap in our logic just becomes so obvious. I mean, just look at this. On one hand, you've got roads. We see a problem, like a huge traffic jam, and we go, okay, that's a system failure, we need to fix it. We plan, we intervene, we build. But then there's housing. And for some reason, we wait around for the market to be ready. We see a massive shortage of places for people to live, and we just treat it as, I don't know, an unfortunate situation, not a total system failure. It's wild. Okay, now let's flip it around. This is where it gets really nuts. Can you even imagine if we talked about traffic the way we talk about housing? We'd be celebrating a 2-hour-long traffic jam as proof of strong demand. We'd be arguing against building a new highway because it might protect the valuation of nearby roads. It sounds completely absurd, right? Because it is. And yet, that is exactly the kind of logic we apply to housing every single day. Okay, so this is a really important point to make right here. When we say treat housing like infrastructure, it's not about one single solution. This isn't about dictating the method. It's about completely changing the goal. So let's be super clear about what this does not mean. It doesn't mean the government suddenly builds every single home. It doesn't mean private developers just disappear. And it definitely doesn't mean the end of homeownership. I mean, we have mixed public-private systems for tons of things, like healthcare or even power. The point isn't to get rid of the private sector. No, the point is this. This is the absolute heart of the argument. For infrastructure, what's the goal? It's having enough of it and making sure it works. Capacity and reliability. But for housing, somehow the primary goal has become protecting the financial value of the houses that are already there. And those are two completely fundamentally different goals. Seriously, just think about that for a second. If the power went out across a whole city, we'd call it what it is, a crisis, a massive failure. But with housing, we're living in a permanent, ongoing shortage, and we've just normalized it. We've actually learned to explain it away, saying, oh, that's just the market. It's incredible. So where does all this leave us? What's the big takeaway? Look, thinking of housing as infrastructure isn't some magic wand that solves everything overnight. But what it does do is completely change the conversation. It forces us to start asking totally different questions. And this is the big shift right here. We stop asking questions like, why won't the market build more homes? And we start asking, why are we as a society okay with a basic human need being so undersupplied? See? It changes the frame. It's no longer just a business problem, it's a systems problem. And that's a problem we actually have the power to solve. And that leads to a really powerful conclusion, I think. It means we can stop blaming individuals for their choices and start looking at the system that limits those choices. The real problem isn't that people are making the wrong decisions, it's that the system isn't giving them enough good options in the first place. So I'll leave you with this final, really big question. Just for a second, forget about the specific policies, forget about the politics. Just ask yourself this. What would actually change if we plan for housing with the same seriousness, the same urgency that we plan for our roads, our water, and our power? What would that world even look like?